I will now open the public speaking portion of the meeting. Any resident taxpayer wishing to address City Council, you may do so at this time. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Jeff Levine. I'm the property owner at Newark Avenue on the corner of Newark and North Avenue. If I look familiar, I've testified before many of you before and been up in front of you before, maybe even been on the Chamber of Commerce locally. And I'm here to talk to you today about something that's going to be before you probably in the next 2 weeks to 6 weeks, and that's the Durant redevelopment plan, which is a redevelopment plan for the former Bay facility or Berry Biscuit, as some of you may know, which is in Councilman Sedanio's ward. Just to give you a little context, I was once a partner in that redevelopment and worked tirelessly with the council as well as the planning board to come and put together a real collaborative plan for that area, which I do agree is an area in need of redevelopment. And I'm obviously standing before you as a developer, so I'm pro-development and I wouldn't speak against development not occurring, but more than anything, I'm for responsible development, and I'm particularly for council and the city not missing an opportunity to do something great in their city. And that's something that I envision with you in a public-private partnership going back maybe 12 years ago or 15 years ago when we first redeveloped the corner of Newark and North to be a new Stop Shop supermarket, which was an old manufacturing facility that had environmentally was run down, and we really worked together to come up with a plan, including adding split blocks of all different sizes and making it beautiful as you entered the North Avenue gateway to the city, to ensure that we did something different. We did it with EDC money, so it was real public-private partnership, and then continuing from there, I put in some plans to help the K-8 Ronald Reagan Academy happen, and so there's a lot of great things happening there, and I'll tell you what, the only concern I have is whether what's going to happen to this redevelopment area is not a watered-down version of what everyone envisioned would happen there. When we talked about it years ago, and Councilman Cedeno wanted something to really activate that area, we talked about mixed use, which really plays on all the great attributes of that area. You have a transit stop there for transit-oriented development. You've got a park within walking distance of that area to play off and be a complement to residential there. And you have really, that is the kind of leading area that leads into the Newark Avenue border. So as you come kind of Frulenheisen, that's kind of your entrance into the city. I think that a plan presented with just big box retail, in fact, one of the plans that I first talked about with council in the city, we were sensitive to big box because we didn't want to cause any detriment to the downtown, and there was actually a lot of collaboration between us and the city in that plan to make sure that any large retail would be complementary to the existing retail, whether it be the Stop and Shop that's at the corner or the retailers that are in downtown Elizabeth, that we want to make sure together, and I use the term we because when you think about an area in need of a redevelopment plan, you want to be able to do something that makes a difference in your city. So I talked about that old Durant Motor Factory, the bakery, kind of being a special place in Elizabeth. And I always thought that it could be another special place in Elizabeth with real active streets, vibrancy, and something that happened with mixed use of residential, small retail, large retail, as well as some office components, and I think the market is there. Unfortunately, for me, I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not a partner in that deal anymore. I have no, financial gain in that deal, but I am, I'm not a resident of Elizabeth, but I feel like I'm part of Elizabeth because I've been here over 15 years as a tax-paying party and part of the commerce of the city. I think the market is there for mixed use. I think the residential market is as hot as ever, especially for rental, and I think transit-oriented. There's public dollars available for that. I think small retailers are getting back in the game, and I think city not leave anything on the table. I think to just have a retail-only component with some wish list of residential down the road, I think we'd be missing this chance to do something special for Elizabeth. So there's nothing before you today. I noticed it was canceled, but I did want you to hear what I had to say. The project's near and dear to me. I do want it to be successful. I want the city of Elizabeth to see what's happening there transform. Councilman Cedeno has done a lot for that ward, and when he and I spoke at the time, there was a special place for the community center that happened in the development. I'll be back before you, and you can call on me if you want to get any of my ideas. I do a lot of land redevelopment across the country for places like Detroit and Seattle, and so I've got a lot of ideas, and I want you to gather all the data, and I want you to use that property to make a difference to that northern gateway of Elizabeth, and I thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other taxpayer or resident wishing to address City Council, you may do so at this time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jose Rodriguez. I live at 618 Jackson Avenue. We're going to have a very important election in 2 weeks, on November 6th, along with the president and many other choices that our residents will have. I believe the most important election will be all the way at the bottom, which is the school board. We all know how important education is, not only to Elizabeth, but to our state and to our country. And it's going to be very important that I believe our citizens should make a choice to move forward and to end corruption in our school board. I believe that our schools have great staff, great students, and even though there have been some small gains in the school system, I truly believe we can do so much more and so much better. So I just want to remind our citizens that we do have a big important election, and to remember to vote for the school board all the way at the bottom. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other taxpayer or resident wishing to address City Council, you may do so at this time.
Hello, my name is Maria Echeverria. I live at 321 Westfield Avenue. And I came before you before my autism program, but let me tell you a little bit about this weekend. I did autism walk, and it was very educational. On Sunday, 1 out of every 54 boys are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Autism gets less than 5% of funds for research. More children are diagnosed with autism than childhood cancer, AIDS, and diabetes put together. Now I'm trying to work on a solution. Programs, examples. There's a hero group, art therapy, nutrition, training for parents on applied behavior analysis, and for schools for autism. Thank you. I gave my name and number to her.
Okay, you get
Someone never got back to me about it.
Okay, we'll follow up with that. And I saw that in New Jersey, autism is a very big problem in this state for some reason. We have an exorbitant number of people that are diagnosed with autism. It certainly needs more attention. Any other taxpayer or resident wishing to address City Council, you can do so at this time.
Samuel Muhammad, 32 Elm Place, New Jersey. I just want to reiterate on behalf of Jose Rodriguez and those, Charlene, I'm familiar with the mayor's name, that's running for Board of Education. But we really need to stand behind them with all this corruption that's being exposed by the board. On the board, I'm surprised when I hear anything from the city, mayor, and council concerning this, concerning the corruption that's going on in the board of education. We need to change it. Our children are definitely suffering, especially our black children are definitely being left behind. I don't want to go too far into that right now, but I'm up here. First, I want to thank Councilman Grover, Councilwoman Perkins, Councilman Cedeno, people you have as far as security and maintenance. They're doing a hell of a job. They're doing all that they can. They're working feverishly, but the buildings might be a little past, might be open, you know, but they're working hard. They're hiring brothers, giving guys second chances, and they're working hard. And I want to thank you, Councilman Grover, for that. However, I believe more can be done in the way of converting these vouchers to Section 8 so the residents can move on. I mean, they're giving no notice to move out, find a place. Many residents have come to me and said they just don't have enough time to find a place, especially when they have to come back in a year. Many landlords don't want to give you a 1-year lease. You understand? You say they got to come back in a year. Let the people go. Let them have permanent Section 8. It can be done. Adjustments can be made. You know, but it's a serious situation. Also, City Council, the police are terrible. We met with the director. He knows what he can do, but he can't. And when you got a bunch of old police, that's what you got. Police do not like black people. That's what you got. And they all sit over there. A little bit of nothing is going on. Shooting downtown. You got all the cops over here at Open Plaza. And all this crime in the rest of the city. Doesn't make no sense. I mean, it's like a Tuskegee experiment or something. Well, seeing how much pressure and oppression that these people can take over here at Open Plaza, it's a shame what's going on. So we bring this to you so you know. Like I thank the council people who are trying to help. We really appreciate it because we know you got to do hard for the situation. But I like to say before I sit down, Councilman Goldman and Councilman Manson, if you think it's a joke or that these people are not important enough for you to help, then maybe your time has passed. Maybe you have lost sight of why you're you know, maybe you just too old to understand the time. Maybe you should resign and let somebody sit in these seats that's going to help the people. Thank you.
City Council, you may do so at this time. Any other taxpayer, resident wishing to address City Council, you may do so at this time.
Agena, former resident of 400 Irvington Avenue, currently living in 220 Parker Road. I just want to talk about the conversion vouchers, and I would appreciate the letter that I received from you. How can families receive a conversion voucher? If a family lives in a public housing unit that's scheduled to be demolished, disposed, or converted, they will be contacted by the public housing agency when they are available for conversion vouchers. Family living in projects that are affected by the owner's decision to opt out of a Section 8 project-based contract or by decisions of the owner to prepay the mortgage will be notified by the owner to contact PHA, Public Housing Agency. If the owner is opting out of Section 8 project-based contract, prepaying a issue mortgage, or subject to enforcement action brought against the owner by HUD. I understand that you wrote the governor, Chris Christie, but I don't know if he was looking to see if you could reach out to CRS management, because 400 was torn down. I was forced to move to the back. Now, things are not being told to the residents of what is what. Now, I don't know if she is prepaying a mortgage up there, but I also know that there is a mortgage crisis with project public housing. Whereas, so I don't know if Oakwood is under that expiring date. I'm not sure. But if so, if she can get maybe it was 6 And, you know, I get emotional. It's a lot that I'm dealing with through this process. You know, I was supposed to go to the back. 350 and 380 are given options to move off the property and go, you know, live with me, rehabilitate and come back. But what about those people that was at 400? What about those vouchers that was at? What's the process? We don't know. The truth and reality of it is we don't know. And what people need is reality and not fantasy. Thank you and have a good night.
Regina, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last name. Gina's your last name?
My first name is Gina, my last name is Six.
Oh, okay. All right, hopefully, maybe we'll be able to clarify something for you a little later on. Any other taxpayer resident wishing to address City Council, you may do so at this time. Once again, any other taxpayer resident wishing to address City Council, you may do so at this time.
Hey, my name is Edward Morris. I reside at 670 East Fourth Avenue, Roselle.
Did you say Edward Morris?
Absolutely, that's exactly what I said. Okay, I mean, you know, it's like, almost like, it's just a redundant conversation. I just want to know, you know, I showed councilors down here, you know, prior to this meeting just a few minutes ago, you know, a riot, you know, shots like I said, you know, police, you know, presence that's not even warranted, you know, it's there like to basically just harass and oppress people, you know, intimidate people. It's tiresome, you know, it's sickening, and it's outright ridiculous. You know, challenge is ridiculous first and foremost. Outside that, you know, like I said, people's condition, you know, we have people here, you know, that deserve better housing, they want better housing, you know, but they're not getting for the opportunity, like they're being overlooked, you know, it's like, we'll select who we want to move out of here, and that's that. You know, but outside of that, I just want to know at what point, you know, are we going to ever see any type of real, you know, change? You know, it's like they say, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You know, I don't like coming before you, no more than I question, you don't like seeing my face. You know, but this is the reality of things. You know, as long as conditions remain the same, I want to be, you know, I mean, at what point, and you know, you always do it, it's not the end. You know, when you open this not here, I mean, you got people here, you know, they're just working to do the right thing. You got people, you know, the officers, like I said, you know, there's a lot of talking going on. You know, I'm listening to everybody. You know, we talk about words like development, redevelopment, corruption, and all of that, you know. And when you think about that, you know, it's sad when, you know, that's what the police department and most authority figures and so-called powers that be embody. You know, embodiment of Mark and Meyer, you know, and that's what you should expect people to, you know, embrace and you want them to just, you know, live in the filth and swallow that. It's sad. I don't understand. I mean, it's like we've all become morally bankrupt. At what point is any type of change going to take place? You know, don't just, you know, I mean, that's not helping anybody. I mean, it's like these meetings are fruitless and tireless. They're fruitless and tireless. At what point is any, you know, relief going to come? Can anybody on this panel or committee help me with that? Anybody?
We could have answered that question, or we would have answered it by now. And we're trying the best that we can.
You're trying the best that you can.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean? You know, it's like, it's just something to be said. Again, it's like almost like a record. It's like just a prepared answer. I don't understand that. I mean, with all the authorities you have, that's all that we come up with. Trying the best that we can. That's all we can come up with. I mean, they pay all this money for you to say that we're trying the best that we can. But can anybody tell me these misappropriated funds are going, this lady just spoke about, and why she can't get a decent house? You still trying the best that you can?
Yep.
Anything else, sir?
There's a lot more, but I mean, this is going to be the response. Just the one stare. I mean, what's the purpose going on? It's like this phone on deaf ears. I'm asking.
You have anything else you'd like to say, sir? There's a 5-minute limit.
You're not worried about that.
And
I'm not
these other people have a lot to say.
I'm not going to go too far because it's obvious you don't have anything else to say, so I'm going to just leave. I'll leave it to you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Marty Grant, Parker Road, 232J.
What was that? Sorry.
Yeah, Marty Grant, 230 Parker Road, 2J. I was up here a couple of weeks and I like to know, I'm still wondering, where are they going to move all that dirt and asbestos out there in the parking lot? I live on the back of the building. The stuff is further down by my apartment. You know, number one, that's what I'm wondering, when are they going to move that out? Number one. Number two, I really feel bad when I'm in church and a senior comes to me crying in tears, 90-something years old, because she don't know where she's going to move. She lives in a 350 building. They're telling her that she might have to move to Trenton, Perkdale, or New Brunswick. Who in the world they think they are that they can just take people and move like 90-something-year-old women out of town? My family's here, my doctors are here, and all these people that they move, but they got to realize they move out of town, they're not going to be able to vote for none of you guys up here. And they're fixing up things up there, but they're still not fixing the right way. The elevator now Dover hasn't been broke. I've been up there 7 months. Next month will make 8. Now the elevator hasn't been broke for 8 months. And that's why when I moved out the 400 building, they tried to put me on the 4th floor because I lived on the 4th floor. They told me whatever floor you're on, you have to move. And I said, no, I don't. I don't have to move anyway, and I'm going on the 2nd floor. So now I'm glad I am on the 2nd floor because I have a bad heart. I had 2 heart surgeries, and I could not walk up 4 flights of stairs, you know, every day. So at time, my time is limited, you know. But I'm just like, I don't know, when are they going to move all this dirt out? They moved it down by my window. You know, it's right in front of me.
Yeah, we're going to make an inquiry about that as well as your elevator. So specific concerns like that, we are sending them forward to the city so they can follow up with that. Okay? Any other taxpayer resident wishing to address city council, you may do so at this time. Any other taxpayer wishing to address city council, you may do so at this time. Seeing none, I close the public portion of the meeting.